Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's other comedy drama, ZATIMA, Season 3, Episode 7, Losing It, and Episode 8, Brothers and Enemies. And before we get started, if you are new to this channel or if you're returning to this channel and have not subscribed as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you like the video. Hit that thumbs up button. Then I ask that you comment and join the conversation. Let us know your 2 cents and thoughts about the episode. And then I ask that you share, because sharing is caring and it'll help my channel grow. Thank you. Now, this episode starts off with Zack confronting Fatima and asking her, did his brother hit her? And she said no. Then he asked, well, did he push you? I like that he rephrased it. And she was looking all funny and stuff, and Nathan yells out, you might as well tell him everything because I already told him the facts. And she's like, you just need to get the facts right. And there's Nathan, Tony, Connie and Belinda standing there watching all of this. And Fatima doesn't want to talk in front of them, but I don't know why she didn't want to talk in front of them, because the thing is, all of them are there as friends except Belinda, so she needed to say it in front of him so he cannot go. They all know he has a police record. So what's the secret at this point, Fatima? He already said something. So I don't know how you think you're going to calm him down by yourself. So now Zack is pissed because he asked Nathan, when did I find out? And Tony tried to say something. He said, nah, you already had your chance, and he's trying to tell. And he's like, a few days ago. And Zack is pissed, just like we knew he would be. So it was a few days ago. You guys knew and nobody said nothing. Wow. And he rushed off and got in his car. Meanwhile, Fatima's mad at, Nathan for opening his mouth. He had to know. I'm sorry, Fatima, but he had to know. And Connie told Tony to go with Zack. And then Fatima's like, I'm leaving. And then Connie was like, I'm going with you. And she was like, no, I'm good. And she said, no, I'm going. And that's what I'm saying. Fatima, she still knows Zack from years ago. You know Zack from the last year or two. She's known him for many, many years. So why not team up and work this out together? Stop trying to be Wonder Woman, because as you see, it's not working, especially with these guys that he called friends. So she finally agrees to let Connie come with her. And Nathan's over there talking to Belinda. Belinda's, no, baby, you did the right thing. You should tell. She just wants drama. She just wants Zack to go to jail because he's not with her and he's with Belinda. With Fatima. I just don't understand why she keep telling Connie that they're friends. Connie said she didn't act like she was your friend. I said, Connie ready to smack Belinda herself. So Belinda better watch it, because Connie don't look like she the one to play either. But then we have Belinda. She and Nathan are leaving together. And she's like, you didn't start this mess. It's not your fault. I'm sitting there going, but you're in it, instigating him to get in it. If it's not his mess and he didn't start it, then see your way out. A and B conversation, see your way out. Don't add your 2 cents and don't have nothing to do with it. But Belinda is messy. And Nathan needs to pay attention. He knows it, but he keeps hanging out with her because he needs a place to stay. But did y'all see when Zack came over there mad, walking over to Fatima, and Belinda's like, there goes Zack. She jumps up. Hey, Zack. He's like, like put his hands up in her face, like, get out of here. I was like, Belinda is so stupid. She really is. And the fact that they called out Nate about, now Zack got a record. He's like, I got a record too. Then it was like, do you have a brother who's had substance abuse? They trying to get Nathan to understand, yeah, Zack might have needed to know, but there's a time and a place and everything. But I just think that they like I said, and I'll keep saying, they should have all sat down with him and told him, did a little powwow and sat him down and told him and tried to keep him calm together as a united village. You know what I mean? If anybody understand, put it down in the comment section. So now we have a scene with Bryce and Angela, and they decided to be friends. She said, we're going to try this friends thing. He's still in denial that he ran into that car on purpose, and he's telling her that we're friends now, and I would tell you the truth. And she's like, yeah, okay. So she's trying to get him to go over to Zack's house and go meet Zack or call Zack. She's trying to get him out of her house. And she told him her boy toy is coming over. And he's like, "Oh, you really into him?" She said, "I think he looked good." And he's like, "Yeah, he is sexy." He said, she's like, "Okay, that's enough. That's enough." He said, "Too soon?" She said, yeah." And then at that moment, Sean knocks on the door and she's like, "You got to go." And, you know, Bryce wanted to try to start talking about the car accident with him, and she's like, "Nope, nope, you don't have to," because he want to find a reason to stay and probably stop her from doing whatever she want to do with Sean. And she told him to get gone, And then Sean is asking about food and anything to him, because she won't go straight to the bedroom. And I can understand a brother's like, "Why you? I'm just a piece of meat. That's it." I mean, he need to realize that's all she wants him for. And if he wants something more, he need to stop coming over to Angela's house. Bottom line. So now we have Preston. He's in his car sitting outside of Zack's house waiting for him. He's been waiting over an hour. And Deja comes out to bother him. You know how she is with her flirty self. Everything is sexual and things. And Preston's trying to tell her there's got to be more to you than that. I just feel like it is. But she was like, "What are you, a doctor or something like that?" So Deja's not happy that he's calling her out on how she behaves and stuff. But she was being funny. I ain't going to lie. She was cracking me up with some of the stuff when she was talking about, "You want to wait inside of me for him?" So she was like, he's like, she too aggressive, Preston's trying to tell her, but she came out with a drink saying she trying to be old fashioned. That's what she thought he liked. And he told her, "I'm good. I got a cooler in the back." She said, "I knew you came prepared," because she asked him, did he have a condom? He didn't answer. She said, "I know that look. Yeah, you come prepared," and all that stuff. So anyway, Bryce pulls up and, Preston wasn't trying to take her drink, but she gave it to him and left when Bryce got there. And then Bryce is thanking him for bailing him out again. And he said, "No problem." He said, "You okay with the 33%? "Yeah, yeah, I'm okay." "How long you been waiting here for Zack? He won't answer my calls. You mind if I wait with you?" And Preston's like, "Fine, but he did tell him you should have told him what you was doing." He said, "Yeah, I know." Anyway, so then Preston asked him, did he want something to drink? That he got a cooler in the back. And Bryce is like, "Is it the red one?" He said, "It's the only one back there." "Oh, I can't reach it." And Preston gets out of the car, but he's still holding that drink of Deja, saying we're going to get rid of it some kind of way. But it's like, just pour it in the daggone street. I don't know why he holding on to the glass. But why people, somebody like Bryce saying, "I didn't know you had money like that." You don't know Preston. So why would you know what money he has? You don't even really know what he does at all. So why say, "I didn't know you had money like that"? Preston's like, everybody says that, but people don't know him. Zack might could say that or something like that. Danny might could say that, but Bryce, you had no reason to even say that to him because you don't know him. You met him one time. So now we have Connie and Fatima in the car. They're looking for Zack. And Tony calls and he's like, he hasn't found him yet. And Connie's like, "As soon as you find him, let me know and we'll let you know," and all this stuff. And Fatima's like, "Maybe we need to be looking for Jeremiah." So I don't know if they're looking for Jeremiah or Zack, who's doing what, because it started getting confusing at that point. So Fatima says she's tracking Zack's phone now. He keeps going up and down the street. And Tony's like, "Okay, cool. I'm close by, so I'll meet y'all." So they hang up and Connie says, "I like that Zack allows you to track his phone." Fatima's like, "He tracks my phone as well." Connie's like, "That's love." And Fatima's like, "No, that's trust. Is it a problem?" And she's like, "No, but it would be if you were a whack ass biatch." And Fatima just looks at her. And Connie says, "But you're cool, and I'm good with that." You know what I mean? So, and then she added that, "You know what? I know the young and uncontrolled Zack, but you made him man up. You're good for him." But then Fatima looked at her and said, "Connie, you seem to be cool and all, but I got my eye on you." And Connie said, "Fine, you could keep watching me. I am what I say I am." And Fatima's like, "You better be." She said, "I am Connie the truth." I said, "Okay, I think they're going to end up being cool with each other. I really hope so." And they may not be tight girlfriends, but I think they're going to be all right, because then Fatima lets her know, "You don't know me like that, but I come from a family of killers, so don't try me." And Connie didn't seem to be moved by that information at all. So now we see Belinda and Nathan. They still in the hood, and they see Jeremiah, who's high as a kite, and they're telling him he better leave and hide or something and stay low or whatever. Nigga this, nigga that, all this stuff. And because Zack just left here looking for you, he mad as hell. He always mad, he said. He said, yeah, but he gonna get you. You better, he know what you did to Fatima. So what, So Nathan comes up with the idea that they're going to take him to Belinda's house. Belinda ain't down with that. And she's arguing back and forth. And obviously he wins because, she'll do anything to get close to Zack. So Tony takes Jeremiah's arm and leads him to Belinda's car. So now, y'all, the episode ends with Tony catching up to Zack in some street, wherever he was, looking for Jeremiah. And he's trying to talk to him and let him know they're doing that just to look out for him, to protect him. And he's like, you trying to protect me? And he tells him that, but he never says, we're trying to stop you from going to jail. He kept saying, look at your life. And he's like, yeah, and Fatima is my life. And if he does something to Fatima, he does it to me. Next thing you know, Fatima and Connie roll up. Zack ain't trying to hear neither one of them. But Fatima finally said, I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. He didn't hit me. He didn't push me. He thought I had money. We were wrestling or whatever. And I fell and hit my head. He's like, oh, so you got a bruise? He's like, I was wondering why you was wearing some makeup. Where? Over there on your head? And she didn't want to really say. And she kept saying, they kept back with we're trying to protect you. But say, we don't want you to go back to jail because if you kill him, blah, 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 And then there was one thing that Zack had said, and Tony said, she's not Gladys. And he's like, don't be bringing up my mouth because Gladys is dead. It was just a whole big thing. So when she told Zack wherever he goes, she was going to follow him. And that's when he said, oh, and he pulled out his phone and turned off the tracker. He said, good luck with that. And she checked her phone and said, did you turn off your tracker? And he closed the car door and drove off. And they're upset saying, I hope he doesn't find Jeremiah. And that's how it went off. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. I thought it was pretty good. I was definitely entertained. And I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. ZATIMA, Season 3, Episode 8, Brothers and Enemies. And he had one brother, even though his friends are supposed to be like boys and brothers to him. But all of them seem to be his enemy now. What y'all think? Now, let me tell y'all something. I'm sorry, but the dialogue in these episodes is really working my nerves because one thing that Fatima keeps saying at this beginning is like, I don't want him to mess everything up. Mess what up? Why don't you tell Zack? I have not heard it come out of her mouth. Zack, I don't want you to go back to jail. You have a record. Maybe I missed that part. I hear them saying it amongst themselves, but the only person who said it actually to Zack about, dude, you got a record and you could end up back in jail was Mr. Tyrone. As far as I can see, at least definitely in this episode. If there was another episode that I missed it in, please put it down in the comment section and let me know. But they work in my nerves because they need to keep drilling that in Zack's head. You're going to go back to jail. You're going to end up back in jail. If you do this, you going to jail. Like a baby. Keep saying jail, but don't say, I was trying to help you out. I was trying to look out for you. I was trying to protect you. From what? Tell him what you're protecting him from. Going back to jail. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm getting all upset because the dialogue in here is very annoying and nobody's saying anything. So this episode starts off with them all standing out there. Well, at least Fatima, Connie, Tony, and Zack. Zack ain't trying to hear nothing from them. He has removed Fatima from his location information, and now he jumped in his car to go and find Jeremiah. Meanwhile, they're standing there saying, oh man, I'm sorry, or I tried, and all of this stuff. That's all weak and stuff. Tony is a weak friend. I'm sorry, y'all. That's the other thing I need to say. And you'll hear me say it again when I could go along with this episode. So Fatima's like, I got to go and find Jeremiah. And they were telling her to go home and get rest. We'll find him, Connie said. So when she walked away and left because she was upset and feeling bad because she doesn't want him to ruin everything, as she keeps saying, Tony's like, we'll help you. We all going to help you find him and da-da-da-da. And so he calls Nathan. Nathan says, I got Jeremiah right here. I'm bringing him to Belinda's house. Everybody's like, why he bringing her to Belinda's house? And the first thing Connie said, you know she gonna call Zack. And everybody's like, yeah, that's what she gonna do. Meanwhile, Belinda's complaining the whole way about having Jeremiah in her car. She stops her car 2 blocks from her house and tells Nathan he has to drag him there. She don't want people seeing him coming in. They gonna see him coming in your house anyway. Whether he get out your car or he walks him down the block into your front door. Chickie, what's wrong with you? She ain't thinking. Anywho, Belinda was being so naggy, and I loved it when Nathan put her in check and said, this was your idea. What was my idea? To tell Zack. Yes, to tell Zack not to have his brother up in my car and all this stuff. He said, well, those are the consequences for being a nosy and messy, and he wanted to say, biatch. You know he wanted to say, but he held himself back like, She's like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you get him out my car. And make sure you close my door. She was just really being naggy. Anyhow, Connie calls Fatima and tells her that they're taking Jeremiah to Belinda's house. Fatima's like, oh no, you know she gonna call Zack. Everybody said it. Everybody said it. It's so ridiculous. So Tony left and said he'll go and look for Zack. So now while Tony's looking for Zack, he gets a call from Mr. Tyrone. And he said, I see Zack coming this way. And Tony's like, oh, really? He's like, cool, I'm about a block away. So he said, okay, try to keep him there. So Mr. Tyrone was like, well, how am I do that? He said, give him some of that wisdom or something of yours. I got to tell y'all, this was the best part of the whole episode. Mr. Tyrone is a hot mess, okay? He and Zack come into place and he said, hey, Zack, how you doing? You know? And Zack said, Mr. Tyrone, you seen Jeremiah? He go, I think I said something to you when you came in. I said hello, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, hi, Mr. Tom. He said, now that's better. It's like that. He was like, first, let me get you straight here, Zack. You going to speak when I speak to you. You know what I mean? So Mr. Tyrone went on. He was acting like, yeah, I seen him. And then he be quiet. And Zack is like, okay, where did you see him? Oh, he came here. And then Mr. Tyrone is quiet, and Zack is like pulling the information out of him. And Zack get mad, is like, Mr. Tyrone, I gotta go. I can't be dealing with this. He said, nah, let me talk to you. Let me holler at you. He was like, no. He said, I ain't got time for this. He said, no, can you just listen to me, please? And then he starts with that's your brother, and he has a problem. And Zack is like, everybody keeps saying that. Why keep saying that? And I was like, because it's true. And if everybody's saying it, why aren't you listening to everybody? I thought they all supposed to be your friends. Listen to what they're saying. And then you're sitting there trying to tell Mr. Tyrone you're doing this because he touched your woman. Meanwhile, your woman is damn near in tears trying to get you to not do it. So who you doing it for? You doing it for yourself. And Mr. Tyrone just let him have it. I was sitting here laughing. He was like, so you just gonna go in there and you just gonna whoop his ass. That's what that's what you gonna do? He said, yeah. He said, what if he don't let you do that? He said, what you talking about? What if he turn around and whoop your ass? He was like, I was like, Mr. Tyrone was making me laugh. And he was like, I wish he would. I wish he would. And he's trying to tell Zack, do you really think that's you being a man? You need to approach this situation like a man. You know, if you fight him, he told him, and he falls because he got all that ish in him, you know, the drugs, and he dies, your ass is going to jail for murder. And that was the first time that Zack stopped and thought about his actions. And it made him think about, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do this. So then he said, I got to do what I got to do. And he's like, are you serious right now? Are you listening to yourself? He said, yeah. He said, I can't be looking like weak out there. He said, he about to pluck him in the head. He said, this is what it's about. You think that makes you a man, dude? What is wrong with you? He said, you keep talking about you doing this for your woman. All that hoochie coochie stuff that you was getting from her, you ain't going to be getting no more. You going to be getting it from Timmy. Timmy going to be up in I said, oh my God. He said, when you get locked up, you ain't never going to be able to see her again, touch her again, smell her again, and she going to go about her business. He like, no, that's not Fatima. That's not Fatima. He said, I'm telling you, and the only thing down in that prison is balls and bars. Down there, balls and bars. He said, you're going to be trying to figure out who you taking to the prison prom. and Zack left out. I was dying. I thought Mr. Tyrone was so funny. That was like the best part of the whole episode. So when Zack leaves out of the barbershop, he sees Tony. He ain't trying to hear Tony. Tony's like, we boys for life, all this stuff. Now Tony's talking about, I'm down with you. I want to help you find him. I'm going to help you beat him up. I'm going to help you do all this. Why are you sitting there saying that? You're not going to help him do that. Why won't the word say, I'm doing this because I don't want you to go to jail. I don't want you to mess up your life. Everything is going good. You got a baby on the way, if they know about it or not. You know, you have another child. This is what it's all about. And none of them are using these words. Tony is a weak friend. I don't know what he think he's doing, but to appease him and go along with Zack is not the answer. You need to break it down to him in his brain and let him get it in there that we don't want you to go to jail. Even Fatima didn't say it. But here's my thing, y'all. Because after that, Zack left. Zack left and said, whatever, dude. He bounced, and Tony claimed he was going to follow him, but he didn't. He stood there talking to Mr. Tyrone and then later left and said he was going to follow him. But my thing is, and I don't know if any of them thought about this, and I don't know if I even said it earlier in this video, but maybe Jeremiah is going over the top, losing it with these drugs and stuff because he's trying to handle his mom's death. Maybe this really did him in and he's just overdoing it, because before he was able to walk in there and talk to Zack and be all messed up, disrespect Fatima and all the stuff he was doing. And he wasn't super high like this that I remember in the past seasons. I could be wrong. Y'all put it down in the comment section. But maybe Jeremiah is, with him being with his mother all this time, Zack hasn't been there. It's just been Jeremiah and Miss Gladys. So maybe Jeremiah is really suffering. He might be really suffering from his mom's death and don't know how to handle it. And the best way he could do it is just to continue to take these drugs. Did anybody ever think about that? See, that's what I'm thinking is happening here, to be honest. So now we at Angela's house and Sean is cooking and stuff. Fatima comes and she's telling her, I need you to come with me to go to Belinda's house. She tells him what's going on. But Angela's telling Sean, you gotta go, we gotta go. He's like, damn, it's like that. Talking about he ain't nobody and da-da-da-da. I was like, Angela could be really rude. She better watch herself because she gonna be disrespectful to somebody. They gonna smack the crap out of her heavy self. I'm telling you right now. And they might just knock her down. And you know, but anyway, he's like, damn, could I get my shoes and all this stuff? And she said, this is an emergency. You got to get out. You know, so they all leave and stuff. So now we see Bryce coming out of Deja's house. I don't know why he's coming out of Deja's house. Maybe she let him go to the bathroom. He's drinking a soda. He's sitting there talking to Preston. And he said, I guess Zack is not coming. You know, we could sign our part if we want to, you know. And Preston looks at Bryce. And Bryce said, oh, you don't trust me. And Preston said, no offense, but I don't know you. I know Zack. And he said, oh, yeah, I know I took that stupid leap of faith. That's what Bryce is saying. And Preston letting him know. And yeah, and that's something you cannot be doing while I'm involved. He let him know. He put him in check, basically. And, you know, Bryce got a little nervous. You could see he get a little nervous or something. Then Preston said, we also got to talk dividends. And Bryce is looking at him and he starts smiling, saying, wow, you impress me every time we talk. And Preston's like, why? Because I know business? He said, no, because you're not who you look to be. And I said, see, y'all, that's that judgmental mess that people do who think they better than somebody like Bryce. And Preston said, I get that a lot. And he said, well, how does it make you feel? And he's like, how does what make you feel? People assuming you're not too bright. I said, oh, snap, Bryce, really? You gonna go there? And he said, I don't get that. Bryce said, oh, I'm sorry. Preston said, people just think I'm country. And he said, it feels good to be underestimated sometimes. It serves him well to make great deals. And then, so Bryce is like, yeah. So I'm glad we in business together. Now he's scared. Bryce is not the one. Bryce better watch it because Preston gonna bust him in his face. He better watch it. He thinks Zack gonna do something to him. Anyway, Bryce finally said, you want to go to the office? And Preston said, you know what? Yeah. And Bryce said, we'll call Zack from there. But poor Bryce was in pain because when he said, you want to go to the office, Preston said, yeah, hit him in the chest like that's a good idea. And he was in pain. I don't know if it's from the accident or he just a 90-pound weakling. You know what I mean? Anyway, the episode ended at Belinda's house where we have Nathan just got Jeremiah in bed and he's telling Belinda to stop complaining about everything. Get the nigga out of my house. She wanted to be involved so bad, but now she don't want to be involved. You know what I mean? So he's upstairs. She goes and calls Zack and leaves a message on his phone saying, this is Belinda. I know you're not taking my calls, but I thought you'd like to know that your brother's at my house. I live at 223 8th Avenue, whatever. And then she called somebody else and said, yo, are you still in touch with Zack? Yeah, well, let him know that his brother's at my house. And then when she hanging up, Nathan comes downstairs and said, who's that? What's that? And she's like, none of your business, you know. And then he said, that is my business. And she's like, no, it's not. You want something to be your business. You better bring some money up in here. She doing all of that, you know. Then all of a sudden, somebody knock at the door. And it's Angela saying, she's like, she opened the door, yeah, biatch. And she's like, and Fatima. And Fatima, she said, oh, hi, Fatima. Fatima just walked in and ignored her and said, where is he? And so Nathan goes up there to bring Jeremiah downstairs. And while he's up there trying to get him down, you know, Belinda's like, hey, girl, nice to see you in my house again. Angela's like, she ain't here for you. She ain't here for this, to talk to you. She here for Jeremiah. She said, well, she up in my house. She said, it ain't about you, though. She said, she'll be about me because everything, we all up in my house. I was like, oh, Belinda, you trifling. Girl, please. So Jeremiah comes down, and this was so sad. I'll be honest, because he was so high and stuff. And Fatima's like, do you know who I am? And he's like, yeah. She's telling him to look at me, but he wasn't looking at her. And then when he looked, he said, oh, Fatima, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you know. And she's like, do you know Zack is looking for you? Do you know what Zack going to do when he finds you? And he said, yeah, they told me and all this stuff. But I really think he has gone overboard with the drugs because of the loss of his mother. And nobody has brought this topic up. Nobody has considered Jeremiah's going through all of this deepness because of that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, y'all put it down in the comment section, but that's my thought in my heart. You know, he saw it was her and he was sorry for what he did to her. Ain't nobody who don't know what's going on ain't sorry, you know. So anyway, he said he's tired. He want to go back up to sleep. And Belinda's like, he ain't staying in my house. And Fatima's like, I need him to stay here. And Angela's like, why don't you be? What's wrong with you? You know, and all this stuff, you know. So Nathan takes him back upstairs. He said, I got to go to the bathroom. She's like, take him to the guest bathroom. And so he go up there and he said he wanted to go to sleep. They get him up there in the bed. And what happens? Nathan gets a call. Tony's asking, where does Belinda live? He's like, why? He said, on 8th. Why? He said, I think Zack is heading that way. Next thing you know, they look out the window. Because Fatima's like, we got to hide him. We got to hide him. It was too late. Zack come busting through that freaking door. Where he at? Where he at? And she's like, Zack, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. She stood by the steps, told him he couldn't go up. She's not going to let him go up them steps. And he said, you think I won't move you? He said, move. He said, you think I won't move you in that condition? She said, no. And he got mad. He said, oh, because he knew he wasn't going to do it. You know, because she was telling him, you're going to have to go through me if that's the case. And then he was like, he started tearing place up, and I wasn't mad. I know he was wrong for doing it. Even Fatima was telling him to stop and don't do it. He's like, you hurt me. You hurt me. You lied to me. You lied to me. He's saying that to all of them. And so the only one who bothered to call me, because they were all asking, how did he know that Jeremiah was here? And he was like, Belinda, did you call? No, I didn't call. I didn't call. No, she called 2 people. That's the trifling self, called 2 people. Then she said it wasn't her. But then Zack said, oh, you the only one that called me and called, and everybody looked at her. Belinda, she said, I didn't want his brother up in here. I didn't want to. Yeah, but you lied and you brought trouble here. And guess what? That's why all your issues getting destroyed. And I ain't mad about it. He tearing down bookshelves, throwing chairs, tossing over tables. He's pissed. And Tony tried to talk to him. He flipped Tony over. I mean, Angela's running back and forth to get away from him. He threw Nathan up against the wall. He was trying to get Tony to break something. He said, you was down with this. Here, break this. She's like, my mama gave me that. My mama gave me that. It's not you. And he smashed it. Zack didn't care because Tony wouldn't do it. It was ridiculous up in there. Zack was telling everybody, shut the F up, shut the F up. Don't say another word. If you say another word, I'm going to break this lamp. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It was ugly, y'all. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't feel one bit upset that Belinda's stuff was getting destroyed. Not one teensy bit. God forgive me, but I didn't care. She brought it on herself. And that's it. She's like, well, I'm going to call the police. And Fatima looked out, well, now this biatch want to call the police, you know? Oh, man, it was terrible. And Zack ran up the stairs, Jeremiah, Jeremiah. And next thing you hear is pop, 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 pop. And you see Zack jumping down the steps like flying like Superman and hit the floor. And everybody's like, get down. And he covered up Fatima. And that's how it went off. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. It was pretty exciting, this part, and a little disturbing as well. But put it down in the comment section what y'all thought. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.